In this video, I'm going to talk you through the complete setup of the MTD for income tax sole trader spreadsheet, from opening it for the first time right through to understanding what you need to do at each quarterly submission deadline. If you've brought the Pro or Premium version, this is your full tutorial. And if you're watching this on YouTube and haven't bought yet, this video will also show you exactly what's inside before you decide. The whole setup takes about 10 minutes, so let's get started. Once you've opened the spreadsheet, whether you're in Excel or Google Sheets, the layout is identical. The first place to go is always the Settings tab. This is where you configure the spreadsheet for your business. I'll walk you through each field. So, business trading name. You simply type this in here. So let's change it to Tom's Tires. Personal name, put that in here. Tax year, click the drop down and you select this year. What you'd notice is as soon as you select the tax year, all 4 quarterly periods and submission deadlines have appeared automatically. Quarter 1 deadline, 7th of August, quarter 2, 7th of November, quarter 3, 7th of February 2027, quarter 4, 7th of May 27. Then the final declaration, 31st of January 28. You don't actually need to remember any of these because they're now in the spreadsheet. In terms of accounting basis, for most sole traders, you want cash basis. That means that you record income when you receive money and expenses when you pay them. It's simpler and it's the default that HMRC expects. The other alternative is accruals basis, but as I say, most of you out there will be using cash basis. Business type, we've got a range of options in there which will fit most of you. In terms of business type, choose the closest match. This doesn't affect the calculations, it's just for your reference. One quick note, this is the standard version of the sheet, designed for non-registered sole traders. If you are VAT registered, there is a separate VAT version available. Just search MTD Made Simple on Pay or Etsy. That's the setup done. So now let's look at the income transactions. This is where you record every payment you receive. So if you look at the income transactions tab, it's got the date, the description, the client or customer, the invoice number, category, amount, and the quarter. Some of this will be pulled automatically to save you manual work. So if we put some dates in and we'll see it at work. Let's put one in August, advisory report, it's got the invoice number. Category, I'll select turnover, sales fees. This is the right category for the vast majority of business income. The other option is other business income, as you can see there. As you saw, when I entered the date, that is automatically pulled through the correct quarter. If we put something in the quarter after, you'll see it's pulled through quarter 4. And if we were to put something beforehand, so if we put March 26 by mistake, say we were trying to put March 27, we put March 26, it'll tell you there's a problem. It shows you that the transaction date is out of the range, which obviously straight away alerts you to check that date. We'll just put a couple more in here to show you the automatic pull through quarter 3 because it's 28th of November. And it really is as simple as that. Amount, you just always enter what you've received and it will just automatically pull through. That's it, basically. Every income transaction, invoices paid, cash sales, backs payments, gets a row here. Just a couple of important points here. Record the income when you receive the money, not when you raise the invoice. That's the cash basis that we discussed earlier. There are only 2 income categories: turnover, sales and fees for your main trading income, and other business income for anything else like grants. Also, if you receive income into a personal bank account for business purposes, you can still record it here. And now let's move on to expense transactions. So we click that tab. This sheet works in exactly the same way. Let's add an example. Let's fill in some details on this transaction that's part populated the 22nd of November. Then it's got a description. For this one, it's an office desk, home office, supplier, receipt. It just keeps all your data together so it's easier to find if you ever need anything at year end for your accounting. You'll notice that the 14 categories that are in the drop down are HMRC's exact expense categories from the self-assessment SA 103F form. Using these categories now means that your year-end tax return is essentially pre-organised. For this one, an office desk, we'd select other office costs. If you're not sure, there is help in the help and glossary tab. Let's add the category for this one, which would be phone, fax, stationery and other office costs. If you are unsure of the category and the help and glossary tab can't help you, you can always scroll down to the bottom where it says other business expenses and put it in that, and then your accountant can sort it out at year end. But for most of them, it's going to be fairly obvious. If not, there is a cheat sheet in the help and glossary. So then we just put the amount. Oh, that's an expensive chart. Let's say 150. You'll see that there is a percentage for business use. Again, there's help in the help and glossary tab. Most of your expenses will be 100% for business, but there are things like phone bills, home office expenses, things like electricity that you use in your office. And there are HMRC guidelines for what percentage of those expenses you are able to claim through your business. But things like a home office desk chair is obviously 100% allowable. If you change that percentage, you'll see that if it was only 10%, you'd be able to claim £15 of that. The quarter is pulled through from the date. Again, if we were to choose a date that was outside of these quarters, what it will do on the expenses tab is it will flag that for you. So straight away, I've put in a date that is invalid because it's before MTD started. And straight away, you can see there in big red, right, check date. We straight away know, oh, we've made a mistake. Let's check that date, change it, and that's fine then. It's fairly straightforward like that. Again, so this is a mobile phone bill, obviously would be phone, fax, stationery and other office costs. Mobile phone usage, because it's a mobile phone bill, unless you have a separate phone specifically for business, it's likely you won't be able to claim 100% of the monthly cost. Here you can see that we've put 80%, which automatically calculates the allowable amount, and we'll pull that through. Just one more thing, you'll have noticed that there's a disallowable column here. And if you know an expense is not tax deductible, something like a client dinner, which HMRC rarely allows, you can mark it here. And that'll just save your accountant time at year end. And it then won't add the amount to the quarterly or annual summary. If we go across to the mileage log, if we click the tab there, the mileage log is if you use your car for business travel and you're using the HMRC mileage allowance method and you're not claiming actual fuel and insurance costs. This is where you track those miles. Every journey gets a row, date, from and to, the purpose of that journey, the miles, then you pick the vehicle type and the HMRC rate applies automatically. If we just fill a couple in, you can see this date's already in, but if we were to change it, if we were to put it in February, it would flag check date because, as you may have noticed there, I didn't change the year, so it's fallen outside the period. So it'll catch mistakes before they actually happen. Then we put the mileage in, say 200, and then you select the vehicle. So if it's a car, you get the 45 pence rate. If it's a van, the same. You've also got the option of a motorcycle, which is 24 pence a mile, and a bicycle at 20. Everything works the same way. in that it automatically populates the quarter and it automatically pulls the data through into the quarterly and annual summary to save you any of the addition and the calculation and the hassle. The rates for 26, 27, cars and vans get 45 pence per mile for the first 10,000 business miles and then 25 pence. The spreadsheet tracks your running total and switches the rate automatically when you hit 10,000 miles. All those mileage totals feed automatically into your quarterly expense summary under the travel category. If we navigate to the quarterly summary tab, this is going to be the most important tab for MTD for income tax compliance. If you take a look here, everything we've just entered is fed through here automatically. The quarter one column shows my cumulative income and expenses from the 6th of April through to the 5th of July. This is what HMRC wants from you, not individual transactions, just these category totals. When the 7th of August comes around, the quarter one submission deadline, I open the bridging software, create a new quarterly update and enter these figures. And then that's the quarterly submission done. I just want to be really clear about one thing. These are cumulative year-to-date figures. So when I fill in my quarter two column in November, it shows all my income and expenses from 6th of April through to the 5th of October. Not just the July to October quarter. That's how HMRC requires it for MTD for income tax. In terms of how you actually submit to HMRC, you will need bridging software. I recommend 4 options depending on your budget. There's Abra Tax, and that's currently free in beta. There's Sweetsheets at sweetsheets.co.uk, that's £20 plus VAT per year. 123 Sheets is £19.50 plus VAT, and Vital Tax is £30 plus VAT. The process is the same for all of them. You create an account, connect your HMRC gateway login, and when a deadline approaches, you open the software and enter the quarterly totals from your spreadsheet. Most people find the first submission takes about 20 minutes including setup, and then subsequent ones only take about 5 minutes. If you've bought the Pro package, your bonus Bridging Software in 10 Minutes guide walks through all 4 bridging software options step by step. Now, if we move to the Annual Summary tab, this one is for your year-end preparation. It shows your full year income, full year expenses, and calculates your gross and net profit. If we scroll down, you'll see there's a section for capital allowances. If you've bought equipment for your business, you can claim this here. Annual investment allowance, writing down allowances, enter the figures, and the tab calculates your adjusted taxable profit. There's an estimated tax calculation. This is an estimate and it assumes you have no other income. It does give a useful ballpark so you're not surprised in January. The key reminder here is your quarterly updates are just information. Tax payment is still due on the 31st of January and the 31st of July as normal. If we go to the deadlines and reminders tab, what you'll find here is green means done or not yet due, amber means coming up in the next 30 days, and red means overdue. And if you click here in the status drop down, when you've submitted a quarterly update, mark it as submitted so you can track your compliance at a glance. That's the complete walkthrough. The spreadsheet is ready to use, and just replace my sample data with your real transactions and you're set up for the 2026-27 tax year. If you do need a hand getting set up, you can book a 30-minute one-to-one call with me at the link in the description. Please subscribe and I'll be releasing a follow-up video walking through the first quarterly submission in detail as we approach the 7th of August deadline.